So, as I was saying before my memory card shut the camera off, in the early days of AIDS, people would come into these hospitals with diseases in the presence of HIV, and they would receive the normal treatment for the diseases, but they would also receive the HIV treatment, the AIDS treatment. And other people could come into the hospitals with the same diseases, but without the presence of HIV, and they would only receive the treatment for the diseases. And those ones that were receiving the double whammy, there was no way their systems could withstand that kind of chemical onslaught. But then when they died, it was blamed on AIDS, even though it was the medication that killed them. And in Africa, you don't even need an HIV diagnosis to be diagnosed with AIDS. It's based on the symptoms. And even these so-called AIDS diagnoses are very tricky. There's a lot of false positives. I got into this first because I was researching if vaccines had played a role in the early AIDS cases. And I believe they did, because there was contaminated vaccines, and that's actually all been admitted now by the scientists who were bringing in these diseased monkeys in the early 80s. And the first groups that got AIDS, they were high-risk groups because they were doing a lot of drugs, and also they were taking these hepatitis vaccines and stuff like that. But then I just started looking at the work of Dr. Peter Duesberg and seeing his videos and reading his articles and checking out books like Inventing the AIDS Virus. And he makes a very strong case which has never even been attempted to, nobody's even tried to address it or attempted to refute it, which tells you a lot right there about the kind of intellectual culture we